Hey, hey, what's up, everybody? It's time for the Kevin and Nikee show on iHeartRadio. You know it's your favorite radio show. Let's go.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Overdose. It's time for the Kevin and Nikee show. They gon' have it lit up. Yeah, you know, it's time for the Kevin and Nikee show. They got the airways popping every city across the globe. It's time for the Kevin and Nikee show. They gon' have it lit up. Yeah, you know, it's time for the Kevin and Nikee show. They got the airways popping every city across the globe. You know him as a dope actor, Kevin D. Bitten. 360 twice, Jim, how he keep winning. And you know the baddest actress, Nikee won. She so bad you walking past, she had you speaking for her. If you ain't tuning in, this your reality check. You might miss out on your favorite star celebrity guest. When they celebrate, what you do, you get the bell, yeah. During Kevin's corner, get inspired and encouraged, yeah. Bend them corners while you listen, but don't swerve. Find out what's getting on Nikee nerves. What's bothering Nikee? What's bothering Nick? What's bothering Nikee? What's bothering Nick? Keep on playing. Me and Kevin goes and we gon' get you hit. Yo, check us out on social media. In your mobile phone, we everywhere. You other stations played out like a ringtone. Follow me like Bino, R-E-M-E-Y. Bino Remy. Pop like Semi. And my flow hotter. Thicker semi. Been doing this since I scraped up pennies. But back to the subject, Kevin Nikee.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. All right.
That's how they do it in church. They hold that note.
Well.
Stretch that note out. Stretch that note out.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we are back. We're back for another exciting week, another exciting show with another exciting guest. Exciting everything on the Kevin and Nikee show on iHeartRadio. I'm actor Kevin D. Benton.
And I'm actress Nikee Warren.
And we are back.
Okay. So what's that? Your baritone?
That was my baritone.
That's your baritone?
That's my baritone.
You getting into it?
A little bit. I'm normally tenor, but I can go deep, like, Barry White a little bit.
Let me hear it.
Okay. On a perfect day, I know that I can count on you. that sounds like more like Jerome from Martin. I tried, man. That's why they say stay in your lane. I'm a tenor, so I'm gonna stay in my lane. But you got the whole range.
I thought you was gonna sing something else.
Nah,
I thought you were gonna say, "Yeah, what's wrong with you?" Every night. I thought you was gonna hit that.
Nah, not quite. But anyway.
Okay.
Anyway, so we always got a lot to talk about.
Oh, we do. We
always got a lot going on.
Yes, we do.
So look, we just need to jump right on into it.
We're gonna jump right on into it.
All right. So with that being said, it is now time for the many adventures of Kevin and Nikee.
Yes, the sickness is gone, children. The sickness is gone.
Okay. Yes. Last week people were sneezing and hocking and coughing on you.
Yeah, I'm back and I'm in full effect. The sickness is gone and my face is back to normal.
That's what's up.
And I'm happy.
So you ready for them close-up shots on set?
Yes, I am. I'm ready for them close-ups. You know, you had to tell me, move that camera back. Move it back a little bit.
Well, you know they can move it back and still zoom in.
I know. I ain't want no zooming in. But I'm good. I'm back to normal.
I got you.
Yep, I'm back.
All right. Well, it was a pretty exciting weekend. Yeah. There were some highs
and there was
some lows. So
yeah, there was some lows.
Yeah, because we try to see life
Yeah.
And from the perspective of the glass half full,
yeah.
Let's start with the hide stuff. We'll talk about the lows when we get to sports. And, of course, everybody already know about the sudden tragic death of Kobe Bryant. So we'll talk more about that in sports. So because we tried to also see life from the perspective of the glass half full, we're going to start with the highs.
Yes.
Let's start with the highs. We had an adventurous, most of our weekends are pretty much adventurous, even when there's no adventures going on.
No,
man, but this week there was some adventures going on.
It was it's always adventures going on every week.
But adventures continue.
Yeah. Our adventures continue.
All right, so go ahead. I'll let you go.
No, you go.
All right, so, I had the opportunity, the privilege, and the blessing to reconnect with one of my long-time dear friends from my alma mater, my high school, Mass Bomb AVT. Yeah.
Okay.
And
cut it out.
You just mad because we beat Southern. We beat Southern in the playoffs my senior year.
Cut it out.
We were down
you ain't
by.
Got to be
I got to tell the story now that you brought it up. We were down by 20 at halftime. Our fans left Southern's gym because they thought it was over.
Okay.
One game elimination. Kareem Towns was giving us the business.
As he should.
And I got to give a shout out to Kareem Towns. And we staged a comeback that was one of the best in Philadelphia high school history. Down 20, we forced it into overtime and won the game. I had 36 points and like 15 rebounds. And we advanced to go on to play the number one team in the nation, and that of Simon Grass, Aaron McKee, Rasheed Wallace.
And what happened with that game?
Wait, let me finish.
Go ahead.
Andre Griffin, Lee Van Alsten, and Harry Moore.
Okay,
and we lost. But wait. But here's the thing: if there was one team I didn't mind losing to, was the number one team in the nation, and that of Simon Grass. They were number one in the nation.
I know,
and they didn't lose a game.
I know.
So I can live with that. We got beat by the champions.
I know. Okay.
But we beat Southern. We beat y'all.
Well, listen, you didn't beat me. Okay.
We beat. You want to disown your school because y'all lost?
Listen.
You ain't no fan, man.
Listen.
They ought to disown you.
I went to Bach. Okay.
We beat y'all too. We beat them too. Shout out to my man Jermaine Smith. Shout out to my main man Jermaine Smith. He was a star, but we beat y'all too. But we need to keep this conversation moving because we're not getting nowhere with this. We're not getting nowhere with this. See, that's a shame. She claimed Southern, found out they lost, claimed Bach, and they lost too.
I don't have no more high schools.
You don't have no more high schools to claim. No. Yeah. Anyway,
I'm going to Gamp.
We beat y'all too.
You said Gamp was a
shout out to my man Kyle Locke.
Gamp wasn't music school.
But I'm gonna tell you, my man Kyle Locke was dropping bombs. He's a Gamp legend. Yeah, I mean he was averaging at least about 40 points a game, and he was a Philadelphia high school legend. One of the best to ever do it in Philly. But anyway, we're not gonna pick no more schools.
We ain't gonna pick.
Cause it's gonna keep going on. Because we didn't lose too many schools my senior year.
I don't have no more.
You have more schools?
No, okay. No more schools.
All right. So my dear friend, longtime friend, Leslie Acosta has a radio show, Ursula Media, Ursula Magazine, Ursula Radio, and Nikki and I had the opportunity to go on her worldwide radio show, and we had so much fun.
Oh my goodness,
it was fun.
It was so much fun.
It was fun.
It was so much.
That was a fun interview.
It was. Yeah. It was, and they played our clips from the news in honor.
Yeah.
It was a very good show, and the crazy part about it is that it was like we were doing our own show.
It felt like
we had a third person.
It felt like it was the same positive energy, positive vibe from our show, but it was like it was a switch. We were being interviewed. Yeah, so that was.
And it was just like we were at home.
Right.
We weren't in our own studio, but we were in their studio. Yeah. And it was so much fun. We had so much fun laughing and carrying on. Yeah. I got to get my movie trivia up.
Yeah, you did.
Man,
I
messed up.
Well, we did good. We did good. We got 3.5 because you got we got 3.5 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, I messed up.
Which is not bad. That's okay.
But she was asking them hard questions.
She asked them last two was
hard.
Wait
a minute, what?
Silence
of the Lambs.
Right. and then you know what? To our credit, she didn't have the exact date in terms of 2015. I think she got it right. But that was a tough one.
Well, what I took away from it, 2015 we were grinding in 2015, so we didn't have time to sit and watch TV.
That's a good reason.
Because we were always working and filming.
That's right. I like
How about that?
Like
See,
that.
good save, right?
Yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah,
good answer.
That was good. That was good. Yeah, so it was a lot of fun, man. A lot of positive energy in the studio, and it was just good to reconnect with the old dear friend.
Yeah.
She played on the girls basketball team. I played on the boys basketball team, both our senior year, and we were able to make some futuristic business connection possibilities as well, and so that was awesome too. And we're going to invite, her radio show because they travel and they have the, press passes to come to, a few of our premieres and cover things on the red carpet. Yep. So, we believe in, hey, one hand washing the other.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And we don't mind going first. But in this case, my dear friend Les went first. And shout out to Dylan, who was holding it down with the, the electrical equipment. Yeah, and the dashboard. He was he was back there cracking up.
He was. And I had a microphone in my face. He couldn't see my face, so had to pull my microphone down. He was like, Nikee, can you pull your microphone down?
Yeah, that sound familiar? Like, Nikee, can you pull your hair back so we can see your face?
You know what? See, here we go.
But that's a positive, Nick, because people have to see you. They have to see you.
You have to see me. She needs to be seen.
Right,
okay?
That's right.
And now that her face is right, she can be seen.
All right. That sounds good to me.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. So then after that, we had to sojourn our way to New York to get our acting education. And a good education it was. Yeah. And I'm excited about learning and developing and continuing to grow.
Yes. And where did we go? Queens.
We went to Queens. Queens. So we had to go to Queens to get our acting education on. And it was a very, very good session. We both learned a lot. And, we just want to try to stay sharp.
Try to stay sharp.
And
you have to take lessons in order to, keep perfecting your craft.
Stay sharp.
And stay sharp.
You
have to. You don't have it all.
That's right.
So you have to keep, taking these lessons in order to become better and better and better. And, you have to invest. It's an investment. You have to invest in yourself to get better.
And that's the perspective, I think all actors,
need to take.
Actresses, or anybody in any profession, if you come to the conclusion in your own mind that you've already arrived, there's no more room for growth and development.
Exactly.
But when you can constantly remind yourself, hey, I want to get better every day. That's the kind of ball player I was. I just wanted to get better every day. And I was one of the more elite ball players, but I still wanted to get better every day. And I take that same approach. We take that same approach towards our acting. We want to get better every day.
Every day.
Even Denzel Washington says he still wants to get better every day. So if the Sidney Poitier of our generation, is saying that, where does everybody else stand?
Exactly.
We got to get on that. We got to get on our acting education.
We got to get on it, and
that was that. Yeah, that was great.
It was a good lesson.
It was good. We learned.
It's a good lesson. It was a very good lesson, and I'm looking forward to next week.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be ready.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Because we got homework.
That's right.
Listen, our instructor gives
homework. That's it.
I haven't had homework in years.
I know.
All of a sudden, I got homework.
Right.
Okay, and it was funny because he said some things to me, and I was like, "What? Oh, I didn't know that." Yes. And he looked at me like, it's going to happen. I'm like, okay.
And he's gonna put us in a situation where we can put some use to what we've been studying and learning, and kind of showcase what we've been studying and learning, and showcase our skills. And we didn't know that part.
We didn't know that
we're
part.
Looking forward to it,
but we know it now. Yeah. And the funny thing about it is that when we got back, we got right on it.
That's right.
You know what I mean? We got right on it. We don't waste no time because he ain't playing.
Right.
And he ain't playing with us.
That's right. Yep. And then the other thing was we had a awesome food, fun, family, friends, football, Super Bowl fellowship. Everybody just piling over the house. Yeah. Food everywhere. TVs on, big screens, a lot of yelling, a lot of cheering, some sleeping and snoring, getting back up and eating, go back to sleep, and then watch some more football.
It was crazy. It was so much food that when Monday came, I had to get right back on it. And lose some pounds because it was so much.
I had to hit the track. I had to do a little extra. You know what I mean? Because I ate a little extra, so I had to do a little extra to make up for that.
And the halftime show was awesome.
Yeah,
halftime show was so beautiful.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Yeah, it was a great game. Great game depending on who you were rooting for.
How about that?
Because there had to be one winner and one loser.
That's right.
But the halftime show was awesome. And, for those that get into the Super Bowl festivities, and for those, we respect those that get into it and those that have their reasons why they don't get into it. But, for us, it's just, and you want to call it an excuse and or a reason to get together with family and friends and, be encouraged and be inspired and fellowship and just have fun. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's kind of, what the focus is. Yeah. Because to be honest with you, neither one of the teams was one of my favorite teams.
Here you go.
But I was pulling for, at the whole time, even leading up to the Super Bowl, I was pulling for Big Red because of his Philadelphia ties. You know what I mean? Andy Reid. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that went.
Yeah. And it, like you said, I want to go back to that part for a minute. It was an awesome time to get together with family and friends because right now we need to do more of that. Yeah. We need to do more of that because as you can see, we ain't living long.
Right.
There's always something going on.
Right.
So, do more of that. Yeah, Spend more time with your family. On Friday, I spent time with mine around some seafood, I might add.
Okay.
Yeah, we got that little seafood boil going. And we was cracking them crabs and having a good old time. Yeah, so, I did some of that with the family. And that's needed. Spend more time with your family. Spend more time with your friends because, you never know.
Life is short. And you never know.
And
you know what? And when I think about when I was younger, my grandmother used to cook a lot of food and, just invite the family up. And it really wasn't per se about the food. It was about bringing family together and being together and talking and communicating and, just showing one another, you appreciate them, you love them, and all that stuff. And that's really what it's about. And that's where the movie Soul Food came from. It was a paradigm that our grandparents set in place. So Soul Food was going on regularly back in that day.
Yes, it was.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Every Sunday was
Soul Food.
Every Sunday the family got together and everybody sat around the table and ate. Right. The ladies got in the kitchen and they cooked up the storm. The men were in the front room minding the children and somewhat sports. Minding the children and watching sports.
Well, back in that time, if the children were in around adults, they sat quietly. And they were just kind of just absorbing and learning. Not these kids today.
Not these kids today, man. These kids today be all up in the conversation.
They sure do. Just as grown. Yeah. 14 going on 28 years old. That kind of thing.
And tell you how grown they are. I'm grown. I can do. Okay.
Right. Okay. Right. And my thing is, like, you can't be out here making grown folks decisions and want to watch cartoons and eat cereal. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be switching it up when it's convenient for you. If you're going to be grown, grown. And stay grown. You know what I mean?
I like a good cartoon, but the cartoons are not like they used to be. I used to watch Hey Arnold, As Told by Ginger.
He-Man. Remember He-Man?
She-Ra. And what was the other one? Thundercats. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
But you know what I like?
Activate.
I know what I liked about the cartoons back in that day. They always had a lesson to be learned at the end. They wanted something that the kids wanted to walk away with about topics such as doing good in school, don't bully other people, stuff like that. And that's no more. I mean, these cartoons, they pulling down their pants, spitting on people, punching people in the face, all kinds of stuff.
These cartoons today are amazing.
It's changed, man. It really has changed. But then I got to bring up this. I'm sure one of the biggest festivities of the Super Bowl is the commercials.
You get the bell.
So, there we go. So I was one of the actors in the Facebook Rock I Want to Rock commercial. And it was the commercial with Sylvester Stallone, of course, and Chris Rock. And I was standing to the left of Chris Rock holding up the
Wakanda.
Well, it could look like the Wakanda symbol, but it was actually the Bernard Hopkins executioner symbol. Yeah. But definitely same symbol, Wakanda, but in terms of boxing, it was the Bernard Hopkins executioner symbol. So I was very, very happy to see that, very, very proud to be a part of that. And it was good to see. And to be watching it with your family around.
How did you feel when you saw it?
I was like, wow.
Because you went nuts when you saw
it.
it.
Yeah, I went off. I did.
You went nuts when
I was
you
like,
saw it.
oh, that's me. There I go. But it was great, though. Such a huge platform. And the crazy part about it was earlier that day, a buddy of mine, Mike, he had texted me like a screenshot of the commercial with all of us, because he was in it as well, all of us standing at the top of the Rocky Steps. And he texted me a link to the YouTube link to the commercial. They had already put the YouTube link of the commercial on YouTube before the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But the actual commercial played during the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl, and we watched it, and then we watched it, and I got equally as hyped as if I didn't see it earlier that day when it came on TV, and with your family and all that stuff, and it had over 4 million hits on YouTube before it aired on TV.
See that?
Man.
You global.
I'm global.
You global. You special.
What movie was that when he said, I'm going global? Undercover Brother. Remember he said, yeah, Undercover Brother. Remember? Yeah. So it was great, man. Very, very festive.
See, that's why you needed to play that game with Leslie by yourself.
Man. So, yeah, it was great, man. It was a great weekend. And so, yeah. So getting on our line, staying on the grind. You had an awesome video submission.
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
waiting to hear back from that.
Waiting to hear back. You did very well on that.
Yeah. And, I went through it with that. I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I went through it with that because I really want to get that part. So I was trying to get that video right. Right. And when you're trying to get something right, all the problems come up while you're trying to do it. Like you're not saying the lines right or whatever, but I really wanted to nail that audition. Right. And, with the help of my awesome partner here, we were able to get it done.
And
so
thank you're welcome. You're right. And we did the right thing. So the initial day that we wanted to film it, we said, hey, why don't we take a day to get away from it? You continue to get on the lines, and let's do it the next day. And the next day you crushed it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, from what I saw, I can't see you not getting the role, and if somebody is going to get it, they're going to have to bring an A++ game, because your video was very, very good. And so we're always sitting back in the pocket waiting, but working while we're waiting, and continuing to move forward, and continue to keep the faith and continue to believe, and hey, no matter how many no's you're told, there's always a big yes waiting.
That's right. Yeah. So don't get upset about those no's, because God is working on them yeses.
That's it.
And that's what you focus on. Those yeses that the Lord is going to bring your way.
That's right. All right. So I think we covered everything. So you want to tell them where they can find this?
All right. And I said I was going to write this stuff down, but I didn't.
That's all right. We got it.
All right. We got it in the pocket. We got it memorized. Okay. You can find us, actor Kevin D. Benton and actress Nikee Warren, on YouTube. Yes. Go to our YouTube channels and you can find multi-award winning feature short films, The News and Honor.
Mm-hmm. And also, just to interject real quick, for those that want to listen to the interview that we had with Leslie Acosta, it is up on our show page on Facebook, and I also put it on my Facebook page.
And I have it on mine.
And Nikee has it on her Facebook page, and you can go ahead and listen to it. And they had us on like 3 screens.
3 screens.
It was live.
Yes.
It was a live interview.
And just so they did spell my name wrong, but it's okay. Right. Y'all know how to spell my name, Nikee, but it's all right. It's a fabulous interview. Yeah. We had it was so much fun.
You're going to be laughing, trust me.
Trust me, you're going to be laughing. You're going to be laughing.
All right, so you want to tell them where they can find us at?
I started telling them.
I was trying to, you understand? I was trying to help you so you didn't have to be flipping and stuff. So all you had to do was chunk out. That's why I wanted to get that in.
That was
so you would have to flip that anyway.
I'm going to flip it anyway.
Okay, go ahead.
So there you go.
All right, go ahead.
All right. And also on YouTube, you can find The Recession web series. You can find The Recession. You can all stay on YouTube. We're going to stay on YouTube for a minute because you can also find Old Head on YouTube. And there's something else on YouTube.
It's so we got The Recession.
We got
Old Head. We got our individual YouTube channels, actor Kevin D. Benton,
something else on
actress Nikee Warren.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Don't you got something else on? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll figure it out.
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime, you can find Mercy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, Mercy is good. Mercy is a really good film. You can find that on Amazon Prime. You can find The Covington Witches on Amazon Prime. We're still trying to go and shoot season 1, episode 3. I know y'all is taking a minute, but we're trying to get those locations together. You know, it's all about location. Mm-hmm. We're still trying to get that together. And also on Amazon Prime, you can find
The Right Path movie.
Yes. The Right Path. Listen, The Right Path will have you cracking up because your boy here, you got to see it. How many times he get knocked out, get back up, and get knocked out.
I sure will. I was getting knocked out the whole movie, man. But you know what? I got a stunt credit for that, so I wasn't mad.
Go ahead, finish it up.
And so also on Amazon Prime, you can check out Revelation Blue. Mm-hmm. What happens when a cop is in a position where he got to make good or bad choices, and what choices do he make? Do he lean to his side of good and faith, or wrong and bad? And so you can check that out on Amazon Prime. And also check out Single and Anxious. There's like seasons 1, 2, and 3. A lot of lies, love going on, and drama and all that stuff. I'm in season 3. I want to say episode 2, 5, and 10. I play Ronald, and kind of going through some things in my personal life and with my daughter. But it's a good movie you want to get into. What else we got on Amazon Prime? We got Emergency Landing. Like what happens when relationships go wrong, and they sometimes do, and what happens when they're good, bad, and it gets a little ugly.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, man.
Then head over to Stars Network and check out Jason's Letter. It's a good movie about the killing of unarmed African Americans and a remedy that a young 8th grader comes up to solve the problem based on a research paper he did based on statistics. It's a real good movie and a good conversation piece. No angriness, can I make up a word? No bitterness, that's a word. No cop bashing or anything like that. It's just a good conversational piece that brings about the various things that are going on in our society. You know what I mean? And I think that might be it. And also go to www.mulattocat.com. Check out what's going on Mulatto, the feature film, forthcoming feature film that you can find us in. And we got some upcoming events coming up, and feature films and commercials and TV shows that we're going to be keeping you guys posted about. It's going to be a lot of fun. So continue to just follow us, go with us, show with us, flow with us, grow with us, and act like you know with us.
Yeah.
So that's it. All right. So we gonna take a break?
Yep. We're gonna take a break, but before we do, man, listen, our special guest is funny, and he is known to millions as the bad boy of comedy.
Yeah.
Our special guest, he has performed in clubs, from every major club, from casinos from Los Angeles to New York, all over. And not only that, he's so bad, he got celebs even praising him.
Yeah.
Who are we talking about? We're not going to tell you right now. We're going to tell you when we come back. I'm telling you, don't go nowhere, because when you hear this, you'll be like, oh yeah, I know who he is. It's the Kevin and Nikee Show on iHeartRadio. We're everywhere, and we'll be back.
I wanted to take this opportunity to let everybody in this room know that I'm running for President of the United States in 2020. And I feel that the microphone was sabotaged by somebody who want me to be the president. Because I would be the first Italian president running the country, and let me tell you what I would do. First of all, we need a guy like me, you understand? Nice Italian president. I'm going to change the motto from Make America Great Again to Make America Italian Again. And then if you want to live here, no problem. But you all got to say the same thing if you stay here. You don't know nothing, you didn't see nothing, you don't say nothing. That's enough. You understand? We start changing things right away. We go to the airport, we get rid of that sign. You know that sign, if you see something, say something. No, you keep your mouth shut. I'm not even going to need 4 years. 3 months will straighten out the entire country. Understand? I'm going to relocate the White House from Washington to New Jersey. This way nobody knows where we are. You understand? I'm never going to tweet. That stops. I'm Italian. I don't want anybody to know what I'm thinking. You understand? And you don't follow me. I follow you. Imagine a guy like me giving speeches on national television. People in the press asking me questions. Right? They'd be like, Mr. President, you took care of the problem in North Korea. How'd you do it? I'd be standing there with my cabinet. You know my cabinet, right? Huh? Anthony, Nikee, Joey, Tony, Shalvin. A couple of guys in tracksuits. I have my mother there with a bowl of macaroni, meatballs. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? I'm like, you want to know what happened in North Korea when we went to go talk to the guy about the thing? Well, here's what happened. We went out there to talk to him, you know, sat him down, this and that, and pop. We were talking, you know. We brought him a calzone. We're not stupid. We ain't gonna go out empty-handed. What do you think we are? We were talking to him, and then, I don't know what happened. But he's gone now. And there's nothing you can do about that. Come on, people. How much fun would it be if you knew the president was actually whacking people? Like, Mr. President, what happened with ISIS? Like, oh, you want to know what happened when we went to go talk to that guy about the thing? Well, here's what happened. I called ISIS up. I says, ISIS, we gotta talk. So we flew him out to Vegas, him and his friends, you know. We went dancing and this and that, and then, I don't know what happened. But they're gone now. And there's nothing you can do about it. I always wanted to be on television during the debates. I wanted to be part of the debate. You guys remember when they did that? They were making fun of each other on national television. I say you don't do that. It's very disrespectful. It shows weakness in foreign countries. Imagine them making fun of a guy like me on national television. Then the master of ceremonies looks at me and says, Mr. Marino, Trump and Clinton just made fun of you. Would you like to rebuttal? I'm like, yes, I would. Go to a commercial break. We come back from break, you can't find Trump or Clinton anywhere. I'm like, Mr. Marino, what's going on? I'd be like, I don't know what happened. But they're gone now. And there's nothing you can do about that.
Satisfy your sweet tooth with some tasty treats from the Brownie Shop. Fudge cupcakes, sweet potato pie, freshly baked bread, homemade ice cream, creamy chocolatey brownies, and much, much more. Check out their full menu on Facebook Brownie Shop or Brownie Shop 2019 Instagram. Get your next dessert from the Brownie Shop. Your sweet tooth will love you for it.
Urban Elite Beauty LLC is an online urban beauty supply store that serves both men and women in urban communities. Our goal is to provide quality beauty solutions for our culture and community. Most importantly, we want to instill in our friends the importance of loving thy hair, loving thy skin, and to love thyself. Check us out on social media on Facebook at Urban Elite Beauty, on Twitter at dbenton71, on Instagram at urban_elite_beauty, and for more information, go to our website at www.urbanelitebeauty.com or email founder and CEO David Benton at dbenton@urbanelitebeauty.com or call 609-217-5292. Check us out and see what the Urban Elite Beauty experience is all about. Oh my goodness.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened.
They're gone now. There's nothing you can do about that. Forget about
Forget about it.
Yes.
Oh,
I love it. I
that
love
was
it.
great.
I
That
love
was
it.
funny, man.
That was funny as crap.
Yeah,
he is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
He is hilarious.
Yep.
I told you he's funny.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm telling you, if I went to see him, I would be on the floor.
Yeah, man.
You would just have to put my chair just sit me on the floor because
Right,
that's
right.
where I would be the whole entire time.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
All
So
right.
are we ready for our special guest?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So our special guest, affectionately known to millions of his fans worldwide as New Jersey's Bad Boy.
Mm-hmm.
He is one of the most loved comedians of our time. He has performed in every major comedy club, theater, casino, and event center from New York to Los Angeles and around the world. Our special guest has also shared the stage with some of the biggest names in the business. Our special guest was born in Jersey City, New Jersey. He entered the entertainment industry at an early age and has studied at some of the most prestigious acting schools in New York, the Herbert Barrow Studios, and the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. Our special guest has appeared in over 200 national television commercials, including many endorsements, and has received a Best Actor Clio Award nomination. He has acted in many primetime soaps and television shows, including As the World Turns, One Life to Live, Becker, Nikee, Frasier, and Party of Five, and many, many more. His film credits include Crooks, Pizza with Bullets, Hanging in Hedo, and Stephen King's Lucky Quarter and Criticized. Adding to his great success in film, theater, commercials, and soap, our special guest began touring the world, performing and selling out at countless clubs, theaters, and casinos. His stand-up material ranges from cutting-edge observations of everyday life to his Italian family roots, which recently spun into a TV pilot called Reconstructing Jersey. His comedic style has landed him guest appearances on The Tonight Show as a regular sketch player, The Martin Short Show, Canada's Comedy TV, The Boomer Show, Wild Pitch, Handheld Comedy Radio, and many, many more. A clip of his appearance on Byron Allen's Comics Unleashed earned him over 7 million views and counting, which has led him to his current web series, Marino 2016, an original comedy based on his road to the White House and wise guy's attempt to become the first Italian-American president of the United States, the clip you just heard. In the fall of 2008, our special guest was introduced into the New Jersey Comedy Hall of Fame, and in 2015, he won the USO Bob Hope Comedy Award for his many performances for the military. Our special guest has also been featured on numerous talk shows and has hosted some of the most prestigious award shows, including the Beverly Hills Film Awards, the Hoboken Film Festival, Montreal Quintus Film Festival, and countless corporate events. Our special guest has been featured in the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival in Montreal, Canada, 7 years in a row and counting. Our special guest has a tongue like a razor and a heart of gold. He has an incredible ability to perform in any arena, big or small, and can cater his material for all audience from strictly clean to down and dirty. He has performed in hundreds of corporate functions for companies including AT&T, United Airlines, American Express, Paul Mitchell, IBM, Weller, Merrill Lynch, Sebastian INTL, Toyota, L.A.S.D, New Jersey Asphalt Association, the City of Hope, OSIA, and the LAPD. Our special guest has performed for numerous charities, including AIDS Projects, LA Haven House, Team Earthworks, and the Eric Davis Cancer Fund. When our special guest is not performing, he enjoys traveling and spending time with his family on the East Coast. We are talking about the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, the bad boy of comedy himself, Mr. Mike Marino. All right, so first and foremost, man, thank you so much for taking time out your busy schedule. I mean, you're constantly traveling the world, doing stand-up comedy all over the place. And, man, we checked out your clips, the Botgata, man. You're very, very funny. So thank you for coming on our show, sharing with us, sharing with our listeners. And, man, you're a legend, man.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate that. That's a great introduction, and thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm also celebrating my birthday, so you're my first phone call of the day.
Oh!
No! We got to do it.
We got to sing happy
We
birthday?
got to do it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Here we go.
Say,
happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Oh, guys,
All right,
I gotta
man.
tell
Happy
you, man,
birthday,
I got
man.
tears in my eyes. I got tears in my eyes. That's the greatest birthday song I ever had. Holy smokes. Thank you, man.
Awesome,
Thank you. I just made my day, boy.
Hey, you know, we're gonna say how you said it. We don't know what happened.
We don't know what happened. He's not here anymore.
But it's gone now.
He's gone now.
It's gone now. We don't know what happened.
There's nothing you can do
There's
about
nothing
it.
you can do about it. That's awesome, man. Well, look, we're gonna jump right on into
let's
it,
just
man.
jump right into it. So you are everywhere
Sure
with
is.
your comedy. I mean, you're super funny. I was cracking up, especially on the part where you said nothing you can do about it. I mean, completely funny. And celebrities all over just singing the praises of how funny you are.
Yeah.
How did you get started in comedy?
You know, I've been an actor since I'm a child, and I grew up doing TV commercials in New York City because back in the 70s and the 80s, just to have blonde hair and blue eyes and look all American, you could land a potato chip commercial or a candy commercial. But when I turned 29, 30 years old and I started going back and forth to Los Angeles, I wasn't getting that work anymore because my face changed and I ended up looking like just about every other average all-American man.
I got you.
But I had a flair for telling jokes. And when people would meet me on the street, they were like, you know, you sound like a Jersey guy, but you look like you're from Ireland.
Okay.
So I ended up putting an act together saying I really do have parents from Italy and I really am an authentic guy from New Jersey. And it made people laugh. And I don't know what it is, but sometimes they say people from the East Coast are just funny in general because we grow up hard. It's tough to live in New York. It's tough to live in New Jersey. It's hard to get ahead. So we poke fun out of things that is basically our own life.
Right.
And you can't get mad at somebody who pokes fun at their own life because you're not making fun of anybody else.
Right.
So for the last, let's say, 10 years now, I ended up blowing up on the internet, and then for the past 5 years, because of some other shows I was on, I ended up touring around the United States and now the world because I really just keep my act about myself and my family so that nobody can get offended. No race, no different ethnic background. You can't get mad at me. This is about me. So if I talk about my family, you could look at each other and go, you know what, my family acts like that sometimes. And you're not mad, you're just going to identify. So if I go into a supermarket and I don't want to self-check out my stuff because I'm in my 50s and I don't know how, then people in their early 30s to 50s and 60s are going to say, you know what, he's right. What happened? Why am I doing somebody else's job? So I'm very blessed and lucky because I go into neighborhoods that the average comedian wouldn't even think of going into, but I get away with it because it's about me. Just the other day, I got a fan letter, believe it or not, from a 5-year-old kid who wrote the fan letter in crayon.
Wow.
So naturally, I asked the parents, what made this kid identify with me? She said, you remind her of her uncle.
Wow. That's funny.
That's right. Everybody had that comedic uncle that would stand up at the birthday party and tell jokes. And yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah.
Exactly. And he was the guy that you wish was going to be in your life all the time because he made you laugh.
Right. Yeah, and that's one of the things I love about your comedy. It kind of transcends all races. You know what I mean? It's not just for a specific race. And I think that's a testament to what you just shared in terms of your comedy being based out of you talking about yourself. But from what I heard, a lot of comedians, their comedy comes out of a place of pain or hurt that they're able to turn around and make funny. Well, would you like agree that, maybe some of your comedic material comes out of pain in your life that you've turned around to make funny about yourself, your family, and things like that?
Well, it could be some deep-rooted pain. I know what you're talking about, and they do find some kind of silliness about it. When it comes to my deep-rooted pains that I can make some silly stuff about it, it could be losing a loved one, like a parent, and you can find comedy in that because we're all going to experience it. Recently, I had to have colon surgery. I had to have my gallbladder removed, and you can find comedy in that too. Because I remember telling a friend that said, the doctor said I have gallstones. You have to have your gallbladder removed. He said, don't do that. You could drink baby oil. I read it on Google. That's hilarious.
Wow.
It's hilarious. You read it on Google that I could drink baby oil?
Right.
So naturally, you just say that on stage and everybody laughs because they're going, you know what? I got a friend who told me to do that too.
Right. Right. That's right.
Wow.
Right. Yeah,
that is funny. That is funny.
Yeah.
When I went to go have my gallbladder removed, the doctor said to me, yeah, it's not that big of a surgery. We'll have it out in a couple hours. You don't need it. I go, I don't need it? I've had it my whole life. Now all of a sudden there's a body part in my stomach I no longer need. I said, is there anything else in there I don't need? I could stand to lose a couple pounds.
I know you're right about it. That's right.
Wow.
Take a couple pounds off while you're at it, while you're in there.
Yeah.
I hear you. That's what's up, man. Now, I've also heard like comedians say, everything I do on stage during my set is calculated. And I know you have like maybe a prepared set that you do. Would you say that everything you do from the time you approach the microphone is calculated in terms of, it's purposeful? It's not maybe calculated, but purposeful in terms of how you're going to capture your audience?
Well, that's true to a point, but then it's not true because let's suppose and you're walking into a situation where they say the show needs to be squeaky clean. And you can't do any F-bombs or you can't do any off-color jokes. Well, now you got to change everything, so you can't really have a preset.
I got you.
Okay.
Well, what if you walk into a bar and some drunk person decides to heckle you? Well, now you can't preset.
Right.
Your game is going to get thrown. You got to deal with that heckler. And then if you're doing a TV set, that's when you have to calculate it. You have 4 minutes. You have to calculate the 4 minutes. Now, that's just me. Everybody works differently. I'm so free with my own performance these days that I'd rather just make things up once I step on stage, especially because of the area. If I see something in the area before I get on that stage that I want to talk about or that I find funny, I'll hit a home run as soon as I mention it because the audience is going to say, yeah, he didn't know we had that.
Right.
Okay.
And it's a little bit more fun.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I got you.
Now, speaking of heckling, have you ever been heckled before?
I would say almost every other show you get heckled like somebody wants to say something.
Okay.
Wow. How do you deal with that?
You got to be prepared. You never know what you're going to get.
Wow.
There are hecklers who heckle because they're having fun. They don't really mean any harm. They think they're having a good time. There's some hecklers think they're helping you. And then there's the mean people who just want to see if you could get thrown off your game. And they don't realize you deal with a comedian who's seasoned for 25 years. He's going to send you home crying.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah,
they don't see it coming.
That is funny.
I actually will warn somebody.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've warned people before. I was heckled by, I hate to say this, but 90% of the time it's going to be a female who had too much to drink.
Okay.
And they want to challenge.
Okay.
They want to challenge you.
Okay.
And it usually embarrasses the guy who brought them.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's like poking her saying, please, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing.
Right.
So you could do a trick where we would make fun of the guy instead of the girl and flip it around. Or warn them, say, hey, listen, this is all I do. I have 2 shows. One's about me and everybody has fun. The second one's going to be about you. And trust me, they're going to have a lot more fun, but you're going to go home crying. You sure you want to play the game?
That's right. That's it.
I like that.
That's it. Because you put everybody on notice. You have a lot more people say, let's just sit back and enjoy the show. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
Plus, so the world has changed. There's people going into shows with their cell phones and they're texting, they're making other plans. And, you know, you get a guy like me in my 50s. I come from the generation where people were smoking cigarettes in a comedy club and there was no such thing as a cell phone.
Right.
So they watched the show at 100%. They went there specifically for that. So if I see that cell phone, trust me, I have a lot of stuff I want to talk about.
You've been forewarned. Don't pull out the cell phones.
That is funny.
Or you will be the blunt of the joke.
That's right. That's right.
You know, there are some theaters and places now that they actually put your cell phone in a baggie and you can't open it until the show's over.
Right. They do that on some film sets too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah, because that phone rings, you're in a lot of trouble. Now, you know, if you film a special and there's 5 cameras and somebody gets up to go to the bathroom or answers the phone, what are you going to do? Say cut, start again?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I got to ask this. I mean, the Botgata is one of the hugest platforms for any actor, entertainer, comedian to perform on. You know, we saw the clip. The house was sold out, packed out. I mean, just kind of take us and our audience through what was it like to perform at the Botgata? You know what I mean? I mean, they got, you know, they normally put stuff up on billboards, performing at the Botgata on this date. It's like you know, if you didn't know before, you made it if you at the Botgata performing.
Sure are.
What was it like performing at the Botgata? Packed out house, everybody's cracking up. Just take us through that moment.
Well, you know, I had been performing there for a few years in the smaller venue. And after a few years, one of the talent coordinators said, you know, you have a lot of fans. You should do a solo performance.
Wow.
And I said, boy, but I'd love to do that. So I did a solo performance and we sold it out. And then you get that nice chunk of change and you're the star for the weekend. And you're on the billboards.
Yeah.
Then a year later, they asked me to come back and do it again. And I said, hey, man, do you think I could film this one? And they said, sure, do whatever you want. So we made it a story behind the scenes and we filmed the show. And that's when I finally called in my trump cards and I called all the celebrities that I know that like my work. So that's when I created that video with Joe Mantegna and John Voight and guys from Everyone Loves Raymond. His name's escaping me right away, but Robert Davi. And I was just really shocked that, believe it or not, John Voight showed up because he's an Oscar winner, and he saw me hosting another show. So I said to him, would you do this for me? And he said, oh, absolutely. And, you know, there's almost a 10-minute version of that. And then Danny Aiello did it, who just passed away, I guess, about a month ago, which is really sad because we had become friends. So after I did all these testimonials, when we went to the Botgata to film it, they put it up on the Jumbotron.
Wow.
So now there's 1,000 people. They all paid to watch the show. Nothing was faked or phonied or propped up. They play this big thing on the Jumbotrons, and the audience was screaming. And I'm like, you know what? Wow, look what I did. All these famous people are talking about me. I did it. So when you come out on stage, naturally, it's game on.
Right.
And so we taped the show. The show ended up getting a distributing deal. It aired on a couple of channels. Now you can watch it on Amazon. And here it all is all these years later. And although that was like the greatest night of my life, we ended up going back and doing another show. You strive for another great night. So I ended up going to another theater that I really wanted to do, of course, like the Botgata, but it was twice the size. And that's the Count Basie in Red Bank, New Jersey, which we did last summer.
Okay.
Now here's 1,600 people, and we didn't tape the show, but I have new jokes, new material, and I'm stronger. So I hit the room even harder. And then you just say to yourself, why didn't I film this one?
Right.
But you didn't. You know, filming could cost a lot of money. You usually try to get a deal with somebody first, but you can end up doing your own thing and then get a deal. It's, you know, you take a shot. But you're right. Yeah, it was a great weekend. And not only did we have a great show, you stay in the hotel for 2 to 3 days extra. You get to go into all the restaurants and eat for free because they want you to come in. They shake your hand. You meet all these famous people. The problem with, I think, all of this is, and maybe you guys can even contest to it, you're so high You're so proud of yourself. You're so happy with the people around you. You are so high. Monday, you come crashing down. Like, wait a minute. What am I going to do now? It's Monday. How am I going to get that high again?
Right. That's so, man, I'm so glad you mentioned that, man, because Nikee and I, we talk about that all the time. You know, when you're on set with the Chadwick Boseman, a Keith David, a Kevin Hart, and you're having like almost like this utopia experience, and you don't want it to end, and then it's like, after it's over, it's like almost kind of like back to reality. And there's a term for us as actors where I can't remember the name of the term, but the death is defined by having like going through like almost like a state of depression when that, you know, set is over, or when filming is over. And a lot of actors, man, they find themselves, you know, in the trenches, you know, after TV series ends, or you know, the show is ending and things like that, man. And it also becomes addictive. Good thing is a positive addiction, because you want that experience back. So you're looking to get back on set, you know what I mean, and do it all over again, man. And I mean, you hit it right on the nose.
It's just the same thing. One of the reasons why I became a comedian is because as an actor, waiting for an audition, hoping you got the job was just taking way too long. Whereas as a comedian, you can go out every night and get some kind of satisfaction.
Right.
And now as a comedian, I got acting work. And that's how I ended up working with Gary Pastore when we did the pilot Silent Partners as gangsters, which is great. And if that hits, you know, as a comedian, I only need a little role. Right. I have a small role on that. My touring money will go through the roof.
Right, absolutely. Definitely. Shout out to Mr. Gary Pastore, friend of ours, friend of the show, friend of Mike's, and friend of Mike is a friend of ours.
That's
right. Yeah, we definitely got to give him a shout out. Great guy, man. Great guy. Awesome talent. And man, I mean, that I know that had to be a very, very great time in front of the camera with you guys come together doing your thing. So
it was fantastic, because not only are you on set with people that you like and admire and care about, I got to do an acting scene where I get shot, and I've never been shot before.
Okay.
And when they put those things on you and they explode you, you're like, wow, I just got murdered.
We don't know what happened.
And you know, it's really great.
We don't know what happened.
It's a dream sequence. We really don't die.
Wow. Now keeping with acting, you also was on a few of the soap operas. You were on As the World Turns, One Life to Live. How did you get on those shows?
Well, funny enough, you know, that's the 80s. And in the 80s, I was going to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York City, and I was learning my craft. And then I was going to another acting school, and the casting director came to look at some talent. And I ended up getting a few lines on As the World Turns first.
Okay.
And then there were the other soap operas that I guess no longer exist, and I got a couple of lines on the show. And then I was asked to go back on As the World Turns as a recurring character that had to deal with a storyline of him. I was like a car mechanic, and the race car driver was this crazy guy. But in the scenes, the police officer at that time was played by Meg Ryan, and the rival guy's girlfriend was Marissa Tomei.
Okay.
So for almost a year, I kept going on As the World Turns, and that's who I was seeing. And at that time, you figure I was maybe 21 years old. Never really thought much of what you were doing other than, this is a great gig. I want to do movies. I want to do TV. I want to keep on going. And then all these years later, you realize you're in scenes with people who became megastars. And we were only kids.
Right.
Imagine that.
That's awesome.
I remember I had to have been 21. Maybe Marissa Tomei was 19. I even have the scenes on tape now, because now you can put it on the internet.
Right.
And I remember her having a party, and we all went to the party, and nobody even thought much of it. And here's, all these years later, she's an Oscar winner.
Yeah.
That's powerful, man. Yeah.
That's powerful.
One of the things I wanted to ask too, because I mean, I've heard people say, or comedians say, that doing comedy is somewhat of a form of acting. How much does your acting and comedy set complement one another? Like, do you draw from your acting experience? You know, with facial expressions and things like that.
I would think so. I mean, of course, the Academy didn't prepare anybody to become a stand-up comedian. But since I do have my acting chops, I'd like to say that my stage persona is from that.
Okay.
And I do become someone a little bit different. Let's say my alter ego.
Okay.
I don't walk around acting like that on a daily basis.
Wow.
But someone said to me just the other day, if you think about it, great comedians became great actors, but you never really see a great actor become a great comedian.
Yeah, that's so true.
There's a very select few.
Now,
I mean, a lot of people don't even remember Tom Hanks was a stand-up comedian.
Wow.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
So, what do you think? Oh no, go ahead. Finish your thought, because I wanted to add something in line.
And
with
you
that.
see a lot of comedians now are going into movies like Kevin Hart, like Tiffany Haddish. In fact, when you guys were singing the song, all I could think of was Tiffany Haddish, because I know Tiffany a long time. Used to walk her to her car all the time because she had a problem with some dude.
Okay.
And I remember her singing Happy Birthday to me the way you guys did.
Oh.
And she was dancing. I'm like, this is crazy. About 6 months ago.
Wow.
Well, hey, listen, I'm a Jersey boy. So when I came to California and I needed to go to open mics and I needed to find my way in this business, I went into areas that most people out here wouldn't go into to perform, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I got away with everything because, like I said, I didn't look at anybody differently. It was about me.
Right.
You can't get mad at me. This is about me.
Right.
I'm not offending anybody. And when people ask me, why did you go into that neighborhood? I go, I'm from New Jersey. We don't act this way.
Right.
We're a little bit different.
Right.
Everybody gets along. Everybody's a little bit happier. As long as the food's good, you ain't going to have a fight.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's right.
True.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. That's awesome. Now, okay, back to your point about, how they say that, comedians translate better into acting. Why do you think that is, that comedians translate better into acting as opposed to actors translating better into comedy?
I really don't know. I guess because they're so trained in doing theatrical pieces.
Yeah, I was going to say
they're
that.
so trained at memorizing their lines and doing things word for word.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're used to the word cut. Try it again.
I got you.
Yeah.
Stand up, you do or die.
Right.
Once they say go, you ain't saying cut. Try it again.
Right.
You're on.
Awesome.
I did a movie last year that's going to come out this year called Pizza and Wine, and there were a lot of movie stars on the set. I had probably maybe the third or fourth lead. The girl who plays my wife played the wife in all Meet the Fokker movies.
Oh, yeah.
With De Niro and Barbara Streisand, and she's on set with all these big names. And so she plays my wife in this project, and she had one of the biggest roles in the project. And we would do the scene, do it again, and Nick Totoro was in it, and Robert Davi's in it, and a bunch of big names. And I think somebody started complaining about the way it is, and you should try it like this and try it like that. And somebody turned to me and said, what would you rather do, this or stand up? I'm like, well, quite honestly, you guys are all really lucky, because every time you do a bad scene, you could do it again.
Right.
I don't think you're going to want to be in my shoes, because once we start, you can't stop.
That's right.
That's it. You're in.
Right.
Somebody throws you a curveball, you can't say, I don't like it, let's try it again.
Right.
Yeah.
You're in the game. And quite honestly, there's something about stand-up that's the instant satisfaction that makes you feel so good. Whereas here, how many times are we going to do the same line?
Right.
Just like theater.
Right.
Just like theater, when you get on that stage, there's no back to your one. When you get on that stage, that's it.
Right.
You got to go through the whole thing until that piece is over.
Yeah.
And, people are either standing up clapping or they're looking at you like you're crazy.
Right.
But you got to go through the whole thing. It's just like theater. Yeah. Wow.
Awesome.
Yes, and in theater, you're kind of counting on your co-star or the person in the scene with you to help you all get through, and you want that person to shine so that you can shine.
Right.
Whereas in stand-up, you're on your own.
Right.
Yep. Completely on your own.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Now, going
But
back.
I actually jones to be in scenes with other people because I want to be part of a cast. I want to be part of a show.
Mm-hmm.
One of the last shows I did, they had a guy who was doing a Sinatra review, and he had 22-piece orchestra. And after he sang a bunch of songs, I'm like, I need to walk back out on stage and do a joke with this man. And I did, and he loved it because he didn't think it was going to happen. I didn't tell him it was going to happen, and the audience went crazy. And later on, everybody said to me, they're like, you guys rehearse a lot? I'm like, I never even met the guy.
Oh, man.
Now, what is your preparation before you go out on stage? I know Kevin Hart, he has this saying that he does. He gets in a circle with all of his people and they just start chanting whatever they be doing before he goes out on stage. What do you do before you go out on stage to get that adrenaline pumping and to get ready for the crowd?
Push-ups.
Wow, push-ups.
That relieves stress.
You know what?
Yeah.
If I'm doing a show and I have 2 opening acts, which I normally do, a little prayer group, make everybody get pumped up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want everybody on my show to do really, really great. So I pump them up as much as I can.
There you go.
Do a little like, hey, thank God for this, and a little prayer, and all right, now let's get out there and rip this room apart.
Right.
I try to clear the green room with anybody because they can fester in your head.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, we do have to get in the game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of the last shows, we were backstage, and it was like 5 minutes to showtime, and they had some politicians backstage, and I'm like, okay, I'm glad you're all having fun, and the sponsors were all backstage, and some lady said to me, my husband is a state senator, and all of a sudden I went, you know what, folks, I really don't care what you all do. This is game time, and if you think this is that easy, why don't you walk out on stage and do it yourself?
Right.
Other than that, could you get out of this green room?
Right. That's right.
You
got to be focused, man.
You got to be focused.
That's
Care
right.
what you do.
He said, I don't care what you do.
You know how hard this is?
Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
plus, when you're going to perform in front of, let's say, 1,500 people, and you can hear that mingling, I usually have a DJ on stage playing music.
okay.
Music that makes them happy, music they can hear the lyrics to. I like music from the 80s. That's my thing, early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And makes people happy, right?
Right.
So, like, say, one of the last shows, I know it's an area where it's hard to find parking. Maybe parking's expensive. It's easy to make a joke about that and lighten the load of the people.
Right. There you go.
So if I was to walk out on stage and say it's great to be here, quite honestly, it's great to be anywhere because I couldn't find a place to park, people start screaming. They're like, "Oh, he's one of us."
Right.
He's one of us.
Right. You made the connection. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, yeah, you made the connection.
Funny.
That's awesome.
Walked out in a casino once and I said I lost $30 playing roulette. But don't worry about it. I'm going to steal something from the hotel. I figure a flat screen TV would be nice for my house. Then they start screaming because they're like, you know what? Hey, he's one of us. I was thinking that too.
That's right. Yeah, that's funny.
Wow.
Yeah. So what kind of advice, would you give to someone that wants to get into comedy?
Yeah.
We have a lot of comedians that are friends of ours, and they say it takes about 20 years. In acting, they say it takes about 10 years. They said in comedy, it takes about maybe 20 years. What kind of advice would you give to someone out there in listening land that say, hey, I want to try this thing and doing comedy? What kind of advice would you give them?
Well, just because a person's funny when he talks to his friends or when she talks to her friends doesn't mean you have chops to be a skilled comedian.
Gotcha.
A lot of people think that. Well, you're funny around your friends. Yeah, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
You need to be funny around strangers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And strangers don't understand you. Your friends do.
Yeah.
And they laugh because they're your friend.
Right.
Once you want to be a stand-up comedian, if you really want to be a performer, you have to find an open mic somewhere, anywhere in your neighborhood, and be prepared to bomb constantly. And when you bomb, you're a step further to becoming successful. And keep on going.
I like
Just
that.
like a guy who goes to the gym every day. Today you don't have any arms, but in 6 months you might have big arms.
Right.
Yeah.
You gotta go. It's just like going to the gym, and you can't stop. You have to want it more than you've ever wanted anything, and embrace the horror. Because all of a sudden, one day, out of nowhere, you're going to walk into a room, and there's going to be a lot of people for some weird reason, and the same thing you've been doing night after night after night gets the biggest laughs, and you're going to be in shock. Then you're really going to be addicted to being a performer because you're going to want that drug again. And that's when you know you got it. Just keep on going.
That's it right there.
I'm telling you, I used to go to the worst places in Los Angeles. And now a lot of those guys are stars. And they remember. I remember, you know, Fluffy, right? Gabriel Iglesias.
Yes,
Okay.
Right? Even Kevin Hart, Chris Rock's brother, Tony.
Tony Rock.
Cat in the Hat. They used to call him the Cat in the Hat. Cat Williams.
Yeah.
At the time he was coming up, they called him the Cat in the Hat. He would go on stage with a shopping cart and say he was homeless. I remember all these guys from when we originally started out here. This is 25 years ago. And I remember people looking at me going like, look, the white kid just walked into one of the worst neighborhoods possible. And I used to say, I'm not white, I'm Italian, and I'm from New Jersey. I saw palm trees and pools. What are you people talking about? And they started laughing like, wow, he said what he saw.
Right.
And I go, when I walk into a bad neighborhood in New Jersey, there's graffiti, and you know you're in a bad neighborhood. Here, you guys got palm trees and nice weather. Why would I think this is a bad neighborhood?
right.
So when they
This is way better than
bits,
graffiti, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Wow.
I got you.
I remember they would do certain jokes about gangs and Bloods and Crips. So I walked on stage and said, yeah, I'm in a gang too. I'm in the Sam's Club and I carry coupons and I'll cut prices in your neighborhood. They fell on the floor. Like, what did he just do?
Right.
I flipped the script.
Yeah.
And I didn't say anything about anybody. It was still about me.
I like that.
And that makes the training harder than the work because supposedly you don't belong here. But if you can get a laugh here, you could think about what you can do when you go someplace else.
Right.
Wow.
So it's just like going to a gym that doesn't have the beautiful foo-foo weights. It's got the hardcore weights.
Right.
And you work out on all of those. And then you go to the foo-foo gym, you're stronger than anybody in there.
Right.
And I think that's what works. And I think if you ask most of the comedians that are making a great living, they'll tell you the same thing. Make the practice harder than the work. So when you go to do the work, you're going to be a killer.
I like it.
Wow.
I like it.
Yeah.
It kind of, as you were explaining it, I was thinking about when Rocky went to fight Drago, how he didn't have all the advanced equipment that Drago had, but he was busting his tail, you know, in that little hot gym that they just, you know, made the best that they could make out of it. And then when he got in that ring, man, he was able to knock him out. So, yeah, man, that's great stuff, man. Yeah. Well, listen, Mike, man, you have been a phenomenal guest.
Yes.
And you have given us and our listeners an education on what it means to be a comedian and what it takes. You definitely are a celebrity comedian, actor in your own right, man. And thank you so much for coming on the show, sharing with us and our listeners. And as we already told you, a friend of Gary Pastore is a friend of ours. And once you come on the Kevin and Nikee show, your family. So yeah, man.
Oh, thank you. I like being part of this family.
Absolutely, man. And continue to let us know how we can support you. You got any shows coming up that you want to put on out there, or?
Well, I have a few more shows here in California, Laugh Factory and the Ha Ha Comedy Club here in the area of Los Angeles. And then next week I start with New Jersey. New Jersey, Levittown, New York, Levity Live in Nyack, New York. Anybody listening can go to MikeMarino.net, log on, or go to my social media at Mike Marino Live, and I'll hook you up with some tickets. In fact, I'm doing a show on February 15th with Gary Pastore.
Okay.
Nice.
He's going to host the show where I Catch a Rising Star in Princeton. So if you guys want to come, I'll make sure the tickets are waiting for you at the door.
Man, listen, we are coming. We'll be there. Yeah, we are coming.
Be there.
Yeah, and if there's any other...
I would love it. I'll put you guys on stage and you can sing Happy Birthday again.
I don't know about that. No, but if you wanted us to, I say that. Yeah, that's awesome, man. But yeah, if you got tickets for us, we will come and come out to support you, man. And, you know, I think it'll be awesome. And if you have any other social medias you want to put out there at this time where, you know, I know you put your website and all that, but people can follow you. I know you got a IMDb page. Your IMDb page is off the hook.
Yes, it is.
You know, hey, take your time, put more stuff out there, you know.
You can even go to my YouTube channel, which is Mike Marino Live on YouTube, and you can watch the series Make America Italian Again. And, of course, my podcast is up there, too, live from my mother's basement.
Awesome,
nice.
awesome,
Love it.
Yeah. Well, all right, man. Thanks again for coming on the show.
Yes, thank you.
And we definitely got to make a part 2 of this eventually and have you back on the show.
Yes.
This was a lot of fun, man. And continued success and blessings to you. Yeah.
Well, if we're going to do part 2, you guys are going to have to sing Happy Birthday again.
That's right.
Okay, we'll do it.
We done opened up a can of worms, man.
Sure did.
Thank you.
All right.
You.
Take
Bye.
care, man.
Guys.
Yeah.
Bye now.
All right. Take care.
Man, he was
funny, man.
Oh,
He's
my
good.
God.
Yeah, he's funny.
Oh, my God. Funny as crap. I love it.
Good guy. Funny. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun, man.
Yes. And he said we sound just like Tiffany Haddish.
Now, you know what? I will say this, Nick. We was harmonizing, though. We was definitely harmonizing.
Did you hear that harmony?
It was 2-part harmony. 2-part harmony.
It was. You were holding that note. I'm so proud.
I was holding your note. That's what it was. So
that's what it was?
I can hold somebody else's note. I just can't hold my own. Yeah, I was holding your note.
Yes.
But we was harmonizing, man. But yeah, we definitely going to get down to that show. And yeah, we're gonna go and support, man. And Gary Pastore, I saw that on Friends of Gary Pastore. He said he was gonna be hosting the show. I didn't know if it had passed or not. But yeah, we're gonna definitely get down and go out and support, man. And awesome, funny interview, man. It was good, man. But he also gave a lot of instruction, encouragement, inspiration, and the realities of this comedy business, man. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. And I like how he tied it into theater, too.
Yeah.
Because it's true. When you're on that stage, it's just you. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
And you got to keep going until it's done.
That's it.
You can't be like, stop, back to your one, stop, back to your one, like we do in film. Theater is altogether different. Stand-up comedy, altogether different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to take a break?
Yep. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, it's going to be time for News and Sports.
Scholars Professional Editing Firm consists of a specialized group of academic doctors, editors, and statisticians that keep doctoral candidates moving through the academic doctoral process by providing one-to-one group mentorship and all-inclusive editorial services that produce writing advancements that result in exponential movement. The scholars conduct line-by-line editing, proof and copy editing, university-specific format compliance, and substantially done-for-you services on the following documents: doctoral thesis, dissertation, capstone projects, research studies, research proposals, research papers, oral defense preparations, and presentations. The Scholars Professional Editing Group keep you moving. And for more information on editorial services or a doctoral accelerated mentorship program, visit www.thescholarsedediting.com. That's www.thescholarsedediting.com, or contact Dr. Haynes at 281-315-6053.
All right.
So, what is it time for sports?
Yep. So it is now time for news and sports.
All right. So in sports, on a continual somber note, everyone knows about the sudden tragic death of the Philadelphia native son, Kobe Bryant. And but I must say that the outpouring of love around the world has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
And Vanessa, his beautiful wife, released a statement, which everyone was kind of waiting for. And, you know, it took some time, which was to be expected with such a tragic, event and tragic loss. She just laid out a tweet just thanking everyone for their, support and their love and their kindness, and, continued prayers, for them and their family during this time of loss. And, but the outpouring of love and support, beginning with Los Angeles, was just phenomenal. And then the LA Lakers' first game back against the Portland Trail Blazers was it was sad, but it was a celebration.
Mm-hmm.
And they put a Kobe jersey with 8 on the front, 24 on the back on every seat. So every fan got, a Kobe Bryant jersey. They put his number in the floor, and LeBron James got up there and he gave a very passionate, heart-moving speech that was one for the ages and kind of put everything in his perspective. And it was real interesting because when he first went out there, he had a little piece of paper and he said, look, I'm just going to speak from my heart. And from his heart, he definitely did speak. It was very, very moving, a very, very emotional moment. The players went out there under tough circumstances and did what, as LeBron James put it, what Kobe Bryant would have wanted them to do. And let's go out on that court and lay it all on the line.
Yeah.
And Damian Lillard showed up in rare fashion, giving his tribute and honor in his individual play, as did all the players on both teams to Kobe Bryant. He had I want to say 51 points, and they talked to him at the end. Man, it was very, very somber in his delivery, and this wasn't something that just hit the Los Angeles Lakers franchise. It's something that hit all the league because they're fraternity. The NBA players are fraternity, professional athletes are fraternity, and it's something that's hitting the whole world, man. And just very, very sad.
Yeah, everyone all over the place, no matter what country you are from, you feel something from this tragic loss here. And from the 9 people lost their lives last week, and
right.
People are still talking about it.
And we definitely don't want to want the other people that were lost in the tragedy to be lost in this as well. Of course, Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gigi gets a lot more attention because they're famous. So our thoughts and prayers with everyone. But it was just a great outpouring of love and support. And I watched a clip of Shaq delivering a very, very tearful, passionate, his thoughts about Kobe, just to some degree having regrets. He said, man, we're not going to be able to sit around in the old folks home and say, hey, you got 5, I got 5 championships and you got 4. And, he said he wished that there were some things that he could say to Kobe. So now he's calling up his other friends like Rick Fox saying, hey, man, I just wanted to call you up to say I love you. And kind of piggyback on what you said, spend time with your family, with your friends, let people down here know you love them on this side, as they say, give them roses while they're still alive, man. And there were so many just memorials and monuments that people were building, whether it was spray painting their faces on walls. One farmer, he took a tractor trailer and he carved out a beautiful picture of Kobe Bryant's headshot with his Lakers uniform. I don't know how he did it on that tractor.
That was pure art.
That was pure art. And they showed an overhead shot, and it was just fantastic. And so it was very, very just heartfelt and just very, very moving. And it just reminds us, someone who played the game with such passion, who was dedicated to the game. Allen Iverson shared a story, even while they were on the court playing during the game. Allen Iverson, Kobe asked Allen Iverson, what are you doing after the game? And Iverson says, I'm going to the club. He said, what you doing after the game? He said, I'm going to the gym. And this is how Kobe was dedicated. He was dedicated to the game, man. He was dedicated to the game. And as I shared last week, I had the honor, I had the blessing, the privilege to see 2 things in my lifetime. A first African-American president, and to be able to say I played against the man, the myth, the legend himself, number 8 and number 24 in 76ers camp, and that of Kobe Bryant. And after camp was over, and I had a chance to guard him, man, and he scored on me. And I didn't feel bad about it because he was scoring on everybody, out there.
He was that dude.
He was that dude. And I walked over to Kobe after the camp was over. It was ran by Mo Cheeks and Coach DeLeo. And I shook his hand and said, God bless you, man. And love him or hate him, but you cannot say that this man could not play basketball. And he played with such precision and passion, and he was so competitive. and his stats speak for themselves. So much so that Kobe had such an invincibility to him. It appeared, and so for this to happen, it was like it just hit home and resonated with everybody. And I got to give a shout out to one of my good buddies who was also in Sixers camp with me and Kobe. In fact, he was on Kobe's team. We're still friends on Facebook. Sean Harvey got drafted by the Dallas Mavericks. He came up with a great idea. I want to put it out there publicly. And I know all the Hoopers in Philly is going to adopt this idea. And Sean Harvey, former NBA player, he put this out there. He said, you know, in the playground, we used to play a game called 21. They're changing it to 24.
Nice.
You understand what I'm saying?
Nice.
And they said that it used to be when you're playing 21, if you didn't score 21, you had to go back to 7.
Back to 7. Okay.
Well, now we're going to play 24. If you don't score up to 24, playing 2s and 1s, you got to go back to 8, which is his other number.
Yeah.
So we're going to do it like that, Philly.
That.
That's how we're doing it. So we're going to keep the legacy of Kobe Bryant going. When you're in the playgrounds and people say, hey, let's play 21, please correct people. We don't do that no more. We play 24 in honor of number 24 and 8. And that's how we're going to do it, man. And so rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, Gigi, and all those that were lost in the tragic helicopter accident. And last but not least, of course, you guys witnessed the Super Bowl. It was a great game. I hope it was festive for you. Hope you had fun. I hope you had a chance to check out my Super Bowl commercial, the Facebook Rock commercial with Rocky Balboa, a.k.a. Sylvester Stallone, and Chris Rock. I was standing to the left of Chris Rock and had my Bernard Hopkins executioners, a.k.a. Wakanda Forever pose, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was a great game, and the Kansas City Chiefs came out on top. Shout out to Big Red with the Philadelphia ties.
Yes.
Great game. Congratulations to Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs for laying it on the San Francisco 49ers. They had a great defense.
Yes, they did.
They both had great years.
Yes, they did.
Congratulations to both teams.
Yes.
That's all I got in sports.
Awesome. Well, in news and sports is running in together because, still taking from the death of Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gigi and the 7 others. TMZ is coming under fire. TMZ is coming under fire because TMZ broke the story of Kobe Bryant's death before his family knew about it. And everybody is in an uproar. TMZ, they are denying that is what happened. TMZ is saying that they were on the phone for a whole hour with Kobe's family trying to get approval. Well, why do you need to break the story?
Right.
You know what I mean? Why do you need to tell us what happened? That is the family's responsibility.
Right.
The family, you have to give the family time to process what happened so that they can do a press release and come out and say, this is what happened to Kobe, Gigi, and the 7 others that was on the plane. TMZ had no right to do that. They had no right to do that. And so they are coming under some heavy fire. And a lot of people who are fans of TMZ, they're no longer fans because of how they broke the story of Kobe Bryant. Yeah, they're not happy.
Yeah, you know what, Nick? I'm glad that you are reporting this because we're a media source as well, but at the same time, even though we're a media source. And one of our responsibilities is to report the story with accuracy and authentic, that it be authentic.
Yeah.
We have to be, there were times that me and Nikee said, you know what, we're not going to report this story yet.
Right.
Remember there was a story where a whole bunch of people were getting murdered and killed by this particular guy. And me and Nikee came to the conclusion, we're not going to report it. And the reason why is that we have to remember as the media, that these are people's actual loved ones. These are, you got people that want to send this video to everybody on Facebook, and it's videos of people dying. Like, these are people's loved ones. And we become so desensitized to death and things like that to us, it doesn't matter. But it only matters when it's your family, when it's your children, when it applies to you. And so I just think that the media needs to act a lot more responsible than they have in reporting various different stories in terms of timing, in terms of certain questions that you ask. Like I remember watching a local news story here in Philly, and Kobe had passed on Sunday, and on Monday they were reaching out to the family saying, "Hey, we want to speak to you to do a tribute to Kobe," and they told him it's too soon. Not right now. And that's why you hear family members making those statements. We ask that you respect our privacy and give us time to grieve, because sometimes the media is so eager to get the story and to be the first one to do the news flash, that they have a lot of disregard for people's grieving process, their feelings, and the fact that there's an actual family devastated at this time.
Right. There was a woman on the Daily Blast, and she got so emotional. And one of the things she said is, we have to get back to good journalism. That's what she said. We have to get back to caring. We have to get back to good journalism. She was talking about the woman who, you know what, why is it, and this is going to tie into what's bothering Nikee, but why is it when someone is at their lowest, do we come out with things to keep them low?
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So this woman on the Daily Blast, she went in. She went in. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to share it on my page. She went in and she said TMZ. She talked about TMZ and how they broke the story before the family knew. Then she talked about how this woman went and found a story about the incident that between Kobe Bryant and this woman. In a hotel years ago, and the woman dropped the case because it wasn't true. It turned out that it was consensual. So the journalist went in and got the story and put the story everywhere on social media.
Right.
This man lost his life. His daughter is gone. Not 7 other people are gone. Why are we focusing on what this man did years ago? Allegedly did years ago.
Right.
And I agree with her. We have to get back to caring, and we have to get back to good journalism, not destroying a person when they're down.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's one of those things. A news reporter on Fox 29, I'm shocked that Fox 29 gave him the platform to do it, but he was highly upset. He came out and said the same thing that this woman said on national television.
Absolutely.
And he said, why are we destroying this man? Why are we doing that? He's dead.
Right.
We have to get back to caring about people.
It's and that's one of the things that one of the questions that we raised on the show between What's Bothering Nikee, Kevin's Corner, the news, sometimes in sports stories like these. What is it about the human experience that wants to see people suffer and wants to see people down and wants people to be remembered for the negative things that they did? What is it about the human experience that wants to focus on the black dot on the big white handkerchief? You know what I'm saying? And it's something about the human experience. While there can be positive characteristics of compassion and love and help and resiliency, there's those evil, dark characteristics that involve not wanting someone to live down a mistake and blah, 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 blah. And this is coming from people who are equally not perfect themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, we talked about on Kevin's Corner is that shine the spotlight. If I can get the spotlight to shine on someone else, it doesn't have to shine on me. And if you have to feel better about putting something down, well, that speaks to a bigger issue in your own life, as far as I'm concerned.
And that's true. And that's the truth. And like I said, it's going to tie into what's bothering Nikee, because, man, I'm telling you, I had a moment. I had a moment.
Understandably so.
I had a moment.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. That's all I got in news.
All right. So we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to find out what's bothering Nikee. It's the Kevin and Nikee Show on iHeartRadio. We're everywhere, and we'll be right back.
Once upon a time, there was a young basketball player who had dreams of becoming one of the greatest basketball players of all time.
My name is Kobe Bryant. I'm 17 years old. With the hunger, the motivation, and the desire to be the best possible basketball player that I could be.
He worked day and night, every day, for years and years and years and years and years. As time went on, 20 years had passed, and he felt that he had accomplished all that he set out to accomplish. But what he come to realize is that the goal that he set out initially of becoming the greatest of all time was a very fickle one. And what he realized that the most important thing in life is how your career moves and touches those around you and how it carries forward to the next generation. But he realized that's what makes true greatness. The story would be about transformation of a kid looking inwardly to then growing up and understanding the importance and the power is looking outward.
It's a great feeling to know that you set a goal for yourself and you were able to reach that goal and to knock it down.
If I had the power to turn back time, I would never use it. I don't think about it. Because then every moment that you go through means absolutely nothing, but you can always go back and do it again. So it loses its flavor, it loses its beauty. When things are final, you know, moments won't ever come again. To be able to have the power to go back and re-experience those things it's silly to me.
When you take that jersey off for the final time, how do you think you're going to feel?
Very at peace with it, and I'm very thankful, you know, for the 20 years that I've had, and you know, ready to go.
Powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very powerful.
Very
powerful words from the late great Kobe Bryant.
When as I'm looking at like different clips of Kobe Bryant, and I'm looking at his drive, what motivates him, and what keeps him going. You know who he remind me of?
Who's that?
You.
Oh, really?
He reminds me of you, and why I say that is because I listened to you and how you would get up and walk from where you lived all the way down to somewhere else to go play ball, and how you would dribble that ball, and you go over to the Pepper playground and you just do those shots and different things like that. The motivation is the same. You know what I mean? So he reminds me a lot of you.
Oh, thanks, Nick. Yeah.
He does. The motivation is there. The drive is there, and you going overseas to play ball and being as great as you are in your basketball career. The motivation is exactly the same. It's exactly the same. So you two remind me of each other.
Oh, thanks, Nick. Yeah. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you do.
I'm about to cry.
I got some tissue.
No, I appreciate
it. But I mean, you do. And, just listening to the stories that you would tell and the stories that you would tell of your parents being up in the chairs, like you gonna play today, and just your drive towards it and how you feel towards the game and towards the sport itself is exactly the same. It's exactly the same. So you guys remind me of each other.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now it's time for my favorite part of the show. We're gonna find out what's bothering Nikee. What's bothering you, Nick? We found out something.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when I found out that Kobe Bryant had died, right? I got a text message. And the text message said TMZ has reported that Kobe Bryant has died. Is this true?
Mm-hmm.
And I started doing my research. I'm like, TMZ, why would TMZ be reporting that Kobe Bryant is deceased? I mean, none of the news clips, nothing was on TV. So how in the world did TMZ get it first to put it out there? That's so disrespectful. It's so disrespectful, and it's so disrespectful of people just coming out and posting the negative of this man. You know, nobody is perfect. So why are we focusing on the bad part of somebody? And that's what's bothering me today. Why, when something happens, when a person dies, when a person falls down on their luck, why do we automatically go to the negative instead of the positive? Get back up. You can do it. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Why is it that our main focus as people is always on the negative?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I mean, it goes back to those negative characteristics, man, of the human experience, you know, that people just feel that they feel better just not wanting someone to live down their mistakes. And it's coming from people, the same people who are doing this have made just equally, if not more, mistakes than the people who they're talking to, you know, talking about or trying to, you know, look down upon.
Yeah.
Man.
And
so,
we're keeping with those crab in the barrel people. I started unfriending people because the first response that I got on Facebook was one of my Facebook friends who said, LOL, here we go. And it was a clip of what happened with, allegedly what happened with this woman and Kobe Bryant years ago.
Right.
I didn't respond to the message, but later on I flipped through all, and I did it. I flipped through all my friends until I found him and said unfriend.
Right.
Because why do you gotta go there?
Right.
Why? And then they all started, you know, pouring in. And then one girl, she tore into another girl on Facebook. I mean, she tore into her behind something horrible. The poor girl couldn't find anything to defend herself. Why do we have to do that?
Right.
Why? Why do we have to go there? The man is gone. His daughter's gone. 7 other people are gone. Why is it that our focus is to become crabs off of somebody else's downfall?
Yeah.
If you are like that, you're a crab in the barrel.
Right.
You are crabs. You're crabs. So we're keeping with the crab in the barrel syndrome. Why do we focus on the negative when something bad happens? Oh, I remember when. Why do we have to say, I remember when? This person did that, or this person did this. Why do we have to say that? Why can't we just offer up our condolences? Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Right.
Is it so beneath you to say that somebody was a good person?
Right.
You know, why do we focus on the negative of a person? They're already down. Why are you trying to beat them down further?
Right. And then it's even that much more insensitive to his family who he are you know, survived by because they got to read this garbage. You know what I mean?
Yes. Now, how do you think that wife and those girls, the daughters who are surviving daughters, feel? They're going through Facebook or whatever, going through the tweets and they're saying, remember when he was messing with that girl? Why do we have to bring that up? Why? I just don't understand the hearts of people.
Right.
I don't understand. You're so wicked.
That's
You're
it.
so wicked. Why is our hearts so wicked?
Right.
You know?
But that's, you know what? Your answer was in the question. It's because they have wicked hearts. They have wicked hearts. But this is one of the things that is a principle of life. What comes around, go around.
Yeah.
What comes around, go around. There's good karma, but there's bad karma too, as we already know.
Yeah.
And just like you put that mess out about somebody else's family, somebody gonna do the same thing to you, and you're gonna get a chance to walk in the shoes of those you've hurt. And that's how it goes.
And you know what, Kev? I'm so glad you said that, because that is what my comment was. I said, now all of a sudden that this man is deceased, everyone has a PhD in digging up dirt.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I wonder what type of dirt people are going to bring up about you when you die.
Right.
Since you're so busy throwing stones.
Right.
You know, now all of a sudden the stone thrower has a PhD in digging up dirt.
Right, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wonder what kind of dirt and stones they going to throw at you when it's your turn.
Because we already know it's there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We already know it's there because you're not perfect. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You're not perfect like the next person. It's just your safety and comfort zone, and throwing out dirt on somebody else is you think somebody don't know yours. But there's somebody that knows your dirt. You know? And then, like they say, just because somebody don't say something don't mean they don't know. They just might bring it out when it's your turn to lay in the coffin.
That's right. And while you're busy trying to pick up a stone to throw at somebody, you better be careful, because all them stones you're trying to pick up, you're going to be falling on, because they all belong to you.
That's right.
You know, that's it. That's all I got. Have some compassion with yourself. You know, have some compassion. It don't make no sense. Have some compassion. That's it. That's all I got.
All right. That was good.
That's it. So we're going to take another break. And when we come back, it's going to be time for my favorite part of the show, Kevin's Corner. It's the Kevin and Nikee Show on iHeartRadio. We're everywhere, and we'll be back.
I think the definition of greatness is to inspire the people next to you. I think that's what greatness is or should be. It's not something that lives and dies with one person. It's how can you inspire a person to then in turn inspire another person that then inspires another person. And that's how you create something that I think lasts forever. Yeah. And I think that's our challenge as people, is to figure out how our story can impact others and motivate them in a way to create their own greatness. There's a quote from one of my English teachers at Lower Merion named Mr. Fisk. He had a great quote that said, "Rest at the end, not in the middle." And that's something I always live by. You know, I'm not going to rest. I'm going to keep on pushing now. There are a lot of answers that I don't have, even questions that I don't have. But I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going, and I'll figure these things out as we go, right? And you just continue to build that way. So I try to live by that all the time.
And what brings you the most joy right now?
Being with my family.
Really?
That is the most fun. It's just, it's hanging out with them all summer. Being able to like do things that I ordinarily couldn't do, because of training, because of season and stuff like that. So being around them and watching Bianca grow up, because there are a lot of things that I miss with Natalia and Gianna because I was playing. So being there every day with them is so much fun, man. So it brings me the most joy. What does love feel like? Happiness is such a... I think I would describe love as happiness. I think I'd describe it as a beautiful journey. It has its ups and downs, right? Whether it's in marriage, or whether it's in the career, things are never perfect. Yeah. But through love, you continue to persevere, and you move through them. You move through them. And then through that storm, beautiful sun emerges. Yeah. Right? And inevitably another storm comes. And guess what? You ride that one out too. Yeah. So I think love is a certain determination and persistence to go through the good times and the bad times with the someone or something that you truly love. My parents were great. Growing up, they instilled in me the importance of imagination, of curiosity, and understanding that, okay, if you want to accomplish something, I'm not just going to sit here and say, yes, you can do whatever you want. Yes, you can, but you have to also put in the work to get there, right? So they taught me that at a really early age, man. And when you grow up as a kid thinking that the world is your oyster, and all things are possible if you put in the work to do it, you grow up having that fundamental belief. My mom was there on a daily basis. My father was really influential at a really critical time where I had a summer where I played basketball when I was like 10 or 11 years old in a very prominent summer league in Philadelphia called the Sunny Hill League. Where my father played, my uncle played, and they were like all-time greats and some stuff. And Wilt Chamberlain played in the league, Earl of Pro Monroe played in the league. And here I come playing, and I don't score 1 point the entire summer.
Really?
Not one.
How old were you?
11. And
you're playing against other 10, 11-year-olds?
Uh-huh.
Or you didn't score once?
Not one.
Were you in the game?
I was in the game.
How did you not score?
Because I was terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
At 10, 11 years old, you were that
awful.
terrible.
I mean, and I had these big knee pads on because I was growing really fast. I had socks all the way up here, and I had like the high top
Skinny,
fades, like skinny as hell. And I scored not a free throw, nothing, not a lucky shot, not a breakaway layup, 0 points. And I remember crying about it and being upset about it. And my father just gave me a hug and said, "Listen, whether you score 0 or score 60, I'm going to love you no matter what."
Wow.
Now, that is the most important thing that you can say to a child. Because from there, I was like, okay, that gives me all the confidence in the world to fail. I have the security there. But to hell with that, I'm scoring 60. Let's go.
Right.
And from there, I just went to work. And I stayed with it, and I kept practicing.
You're listening to the Kevin and Nikee Show on iHeartRadio. All right.
That was very, very powerful, very, very inspirational. And I love that he talked especially about the Sunny Hill League.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. Yeah, you were over there.
That league as well.
Yeah.
Grew up in that league as well. So very competitive league, one of the best in the country. And I think, the players in Philly, whoever developed the name or became anything can definitely trace their roots back to playing in the Sunny Hill League.
Yeah, see, that's why I said you guys are the same. Because y'all played in a lot of the same places and stuff like that. So, yeah, see?
Yeah, I used to see Kobe down at Drexel. You would see him like around the Philadelphia venues where basketball was going on, man. And like I said, had a chance to play against him in Sixers camp. And that's when I realized that, he was great.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So now it's time for my favorite part of the show, Kevin's Corner.
All right. So we're going to keep the high vibration moving.
Choo-choo.
We in week 43, characteristics 69 and 70. And see, this is how I know that I am saying what I'm supposed to say. Because like when I listen to Nikee and What's Bothering Nikee. And then she don't know what I'm going to share.
Nope.
Because we are unscripted. We kind of do
right.
it as we go and things like that. And, we it's a little preparation in there, but it's unscripted. And when I'm saying things that ducktails off what she said, it's confirmation that I know that both of us are on the right track, going in the right direction and saying what we're supposed to be saying. So the first characteristic of, that you're operating on a high vibration and frequency in life is that you are approachable. Okay. Giving off a spirit, vibe, and or energy that is friendly and easy to talk to are often described as being approachable. It means that a person is typically nice and open, so you can easily approach them to talk to them and or just say hello. Sometimes people can misconstrue being approachable by judging one's outward appearance, and therefore people are not always accurate in their assessment about people being approachable. And that is why it's so important to have, to not have, preconceived notions about people, aka they don't seem approachable, when you don't know them. Which means that sometimes you won't know if someone is approachable unless you approach them.
That's right.
All right, but here's that characteristic I wanted that kind of ties in with What's Bothering Nikee. You know how to approach people. And the most familiar version of the golden rule says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
That's right.
How does the golden rule work? The golden rule, usually defined as one should treat others as one would like to be treated, is attractive to people as a guiding principle for ethical conduct. It's reasonable reaction to any axiom that's supposed to work for all people in all situations at all times. Be encouraged, be blessed, be a bridge builder. Make it a priority to pay attention to your vibration level in life, because our daily well-being depends on it. Be approachable, and most importantly, as you exercise the golden rule, know how to approach others.
That
includes their situations.
That's right.
That's all I have. That's all I have.
That's right.
And if we did that, the world would be a better place.
Man, I'm telling you, the world would be so much better. So much better. So much better. I don't know. I just feel sick. Because under no circumstances are you supposed to break anything without the family's consent.
Or being notified first.
Anything like that comes from the family. Even the police will not release names.
That's right.
Until the family is notified first. Yeah. You know? They had no right. Had no right at all. No right at all. Yeah. No right at all. Yeah. All right. Put it out there. Okay.
All right, so
he beside himself today, y'all.
All right, so thank you so much for all those out in Kevin and Nikki show listening land for tuning in each week. We do what we do for you. We can't do what we do without you, and we appreciate you. We really do. And you guys motivate and inspire us to keep great shows coming. And I want to say, too, that we are just so thankful and grateful
yes, we are.
To use our show as a platform to give others a platform and to provide a service to the community. Like when we're bringing on guests that are giving you pertinent information that can make you a better person, a better actor, a better comedian. We are happy about the fact that we're giving you information that's going to make you better and perhaps maybe put you on that path to success. Maybe just to simply inspire you, motivate you, and encourage you. And so we're so grateful about that. And so I'm Actor Kevin D. Benton. You can find me on Facebook, Kevin D. Benton, on Twitter, at Kevin D. Benton, on Instagram, Actor Kevin D. Benton, and on YouTube, you can find us, Actor Kevin D. Benton and actress Nikee Warren. Check us out.
You can find me on Facebook, Nikee Warren, on Twitter, at Nikee Warren, and on the gram, hello, I'm Nikee. That's spelled HELLOIMNIKEE. You can find our show, The Kevin and Nikee Show, on Facebook, at Kevin Nikee Show on Twitter, and The Kevin and Nikee Show on the gram. See how we keep it simple? Kev keep it simple. I keep it simple. The show is kept simple. See that? Boom, boom, boom.
No rap names.
No rap name. No MC Arsenal.
That's right. Skilo 215. You know what I mean? None of that stuff.
Listen, if you have any questions, comments, concerns regarding our show, hit us up, KevinNikkeeShow@yahoo.com. You got any questions, comments, concerns for our special guest?
Yeah, Mike Marino.
Hit us up, KevinNikkeeShow@yahoo.com. We will read it to him, get the answer, and read it back. And like we say every week, who knows, your letter can be featured on our show. Didn't we have fun today?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, I did too.
I did.
We always have fun today.
Our special guest was just off the chain.
Yeah.
You know, although we have some, some somber news, some sad news, sad time in sports. That Super Bowl game was off the chain.
Yeah, off the chain.
Halftime show was off the chain.
Yeah. Hope everybody had fun. Yeah.
That's it. That's it for you. That's it for me. All right.
So it's the Kevin and Nikee Show on iHeartRadio. We're everywhere, and we are
out of here.
Peace.
I'm young, but I'm not going to back down from anyone. I'm just going to play hard. No, who knows?
Dear Kobe.
Dear Kobe.
Dear Kobe.
Dear Kobe.
Dear Kobe, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kobe Bean.
Kobe, thank you, man.
Dear Kobe, thank you.
Thank you for your passion, your commitment, and dedication to basketball.
Thank you for showing us that the number 24 isn't just a number on your jersey, but the amount of hours in a day that you have to devote to the game to be the best.
Thank you for giving and giving and giving.
Thank you for pushing through when your body says no, but your heart says yes. Thank you for the games that you refuse to lose, and the ones you always seem destined to win.
Thank you for your endless drive.
For showing us that even on your worst day, there's nothing else to do but push harder.
For showing us there's no such thing as magic, but only hard work.
Thank you for playing the game the way it was meant to be played.
Thank you for teaching us to believe in ourselves,
Even when nobody else did.
For 20 years, you gave our game all you had, and we are eternally grateful.
Thank you for being you, competitor supreme.
Thank you for loving the game of basketball.
Congratulations, and we're going to keep chasing you.
You have been listening to the Kevin and Nikee Show on iHeartRadio.